Upcoming.
Welcome everyone, I am Globku from Magical Noob and I'm here to show you what's coming out in the next month of June. We've got plenty of releases on the first week, starting with Murdered Soul Suspect, where you play as a detective and you're dead. Roll credits. But then you return as a ghost, and you're gonna solve your own murder with your ghost powers, like walking through walls and not being able to touch anything or interrogate anyone. It actually looks kind of interesting, I'll admit. I'll definitely be taking a look at it. Next on the list, we have an update for Street Fighter 4 called Ultra Street Fighter 4. Besides the addition of the word Ultra to the title, you'll also have 5 new characters, 6 new stages, new game modes, and balance changes made based on community feedback. Which means the game will now be broken. Have fun. Wildstar is up next. This upcoming MMORPG has been getting a lot of attention lately. And at first it will look like a clone of World of Warcraft, but it actually adds so much to it. Among some other features, the active combat system will change the way raiding and PvP works. Hyperdimension Neptunia producing perfection. What the hell did I just watch? Tango Fiesta, a top-down, 4-player co-op shooter inspired in the 80s action movies, in procedurally generated levels. It looks like pixels. Actually, it is pixels, but they are fast, chaotic, and frenzy pixels. On the other hand, Lifeless Planet is quite peaceful. You're an astronaut on another planet, exploring it, and actually expecting to find new life forms, while an interesting narrative seems to be happening not directly in front of you, but more on the background.
How do you prepare for this one-way mission, knowing you will never return to Earth?
I have a crew of very skilled and focused individuals. We all have a deep desire to explore. And frankly, we also have few attachments here on Earth.
Definitely an interesting title that should pique the interest of a lot of people. But what probably won't be that interesting is the life simulator called Tomodachi Life.
Coming release in North America. Let's talk to Mr. Iwata to hear more about the game. Mr. Iwata? Mr. Iwata seems to be a little busy at the moment.
I think the footage speaks for itself. No, it doesn't. I have no idea what's going on. Exactly. And that brings us to the end of the first week of releases. On the second week, we have one single release, and that's for Enemy Front, a first-person military shooter with stealth elements that seems to be coming directly to us from the year 2005. Well, at least E3 is happening this week, so that will keep us entertained. On the third week of June, we have 2 more titles. The first one is EA Sports UFC, coming exclusively to the current-gen consoles. Yes, it is current generation. It's not the next gen. They're already here. The sooner you accept these consoles are current-gen, the sooner we can move on, alright? EA Sports UFC kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to look this good. Its combat system looks really complex and really tactical. It doesn't look like it's button smashing, it looks like there's strategy going on. And it just took me by surprise how good this game looks. I would totally be getting this if I had one of the current generation consoles. Deal with it. Divinity Original Sin is at its core another Diablo clone. It features only 2 heroes though, a warrior and a magician of sorts, and its most interesting aspect is probably the fact that it ships with an editor where the community will be able to create their own single player experience and multiplayer adventures. So it's really up to the community to make this a successful game or not, which I think is a big risk, but you know, I'm not making video games. But week 3 is done, so we move on to the last week of releases in June, where we have 5 more releases starting with Grid Autosport. Do you remember back in May 2013 when Grid 2 was released and Codemasters said, no, first person perspective, we don't want to do that because no one drives in first person, no one cares about that. Well, it turns out that people actually did care about it. big surprise. So they're bringing it back for Grid Autosport. Other than that, the game doesn't look much different from the previous one. But I don't see any other racing games coming soon, so you know Grid is usually a good game to scratch your racing itch. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is finally coming to the PC. It's been out since February on the Xboxes, and even though at first it seemed like a ridiculous concept, a lot of people really like this game. And if you're a PC gamer and you've been looking forward to it, here's your chance of getting it. Now, there have been some good Transformers games in the past, but for some reason I never trust the ones that come out associated with the movies. Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark, my bet is on this game not being fun at all, but I don't know. It's just a guess, so we'll have to wait for it to come out and see for ourselves, but I don't trust licensed movie games. It's generally not a good idea to trust them. Valiant Hearts is another indie game by Ubisoft. A 2D, story-driven, side-scroller puzzle game with a great art design, narration, and overall a great feeling that will melt all of your hearts.
War makes men mad. But humanity can shine from even the darkest hours.
And the last release of June is Sniper Elite 3, which is pretty much like Sniper Elite 2, but this time it's in Africa during World War II, where the Germans are building a weapon to kill the Allies. I mean, this one's a no-brainer. First, you ask yourself, did I like the previous Sniper game so much that I want to buy a new one? Then based on your answer, you decide whether to get this one or not. It's pretty simple. And that's all of the releases for this month. Make sure you click that like button if you saw anything that interested you, and subscribe if you want to know what's coming out on the month of July as well. I've been Globku. Take care everyone. See you next time.